Hi, we're Caroline and Ian, a British couple who gave up work, sold our house, gave away our possessions, and are now looking to spend our 5th winter doing van life.
So come and join us and see how Christian faith and van life work together.
On a wing and a prayer. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but we did make it. We went to one site.
Take this off. Can't see the difference between that and me, eh?
We went to one site and they couldn't take us. It was too big and they hadn't got electricity. So we've come to another site, and this is just a 6-minute walk to the metro. Walked here.
Very nice, but it's a little bit expensive.
The site is really expensive. We've never spent money like this before, and you have to stay for 2 nights. How much is it, Mr. A?
I think it was about 40 quid a night.
€40 a night, so about 36 quid a night, with electric and one shower each.
Oh, I don't want to use that.
But it's right next to the city. It's safe, it's clean. So yeah, we're glad that we're here, and we're off to Amsterdam now. Our endeavour is to go to Amstel, an area in Amsterdam, to look at the Amsterdam Museum, because it doesn't just show past history, it shows modern history, and also how they're managing the city with all its problems and things, which I was very interested in.
And that Amstel bit is the famous bit for James Bond.
Oh right, I didn't know.
It's the straight bit that they go under all the little bridges.
Oh, there you go then.
What I've seen of that area, there are millions of bikes, and it's not Beijing.
So we might be watching James Bond tonight when we get back. We did want to go to the Anne Frank Museum. It is booked up 3 weeks in advance, so bear that in mind if you're coming to Amsterdam. Book your tickets for Anne Frank well in advance.
Straight off the metro, our first sight of Amsterdam, and heading, clock that goes backwards, says it all. And said one of the main things is bicycles, lots of bicycles, and as long as we can be careful where we're going, we'll go on. This is one of the rivers in the Amsterdam area. If you came here, I do. It's boat trips and things. Where did I park my bike? Oi, he's got it. Come back. So first impressions of Amsterdam. They really like the records. So I know that. There's a lot of signs telling you don't do this and don't do that and don't do the other. And we're on a hunt to try and get to a museum. It's very interesting. What do you think, my love?
Yeah, different areas. So we came right up at Central Station. It was so busy. We're in the Amstel area now, and suddenly it's quite tranquil.
Nice.
Well, that was a very informative couple of hours, wasn't it?
It was a very interesting museum, was that?
I think for me it was probably the most modern museum that I've ever been in, and this is the Amsterdam Museum.
So what they do is you walk around the outside of the walls of the museum, and they show you the history side of things, what you expect to see in a museum, portraits of old-looking, ugly people and things like that, and all like, you know, with the tea cloths around the neck and all that kind of thing, and the frazzles, and then it takes you through the history to almost modern day. So you see the war and all that kind of thing, and then
Or if you look at those people, they were the philanthropists of the time, the merchants, and they were doing philanthropic things to the community, like housing the homeless, the elderly, and the orphans. But what they did mention was that all their money was gained actually from the same poor situation but in another country. So it was built on slavery and ignorance and dominance from the merchants themselves. And how they portrayed this was in the centre of the museum there was windows, and the centre of the museum had modern day history. So it had like the Black Lives Matters, LGBT, all sorts of different things in the centre, but with windows peeping out so you could still see the older version of things as well. So
yeah, that was interesting because it was saying that Catholicism was really big when Holland first started off, and of course after the Reformation and the Bible started going out and things, and obviously the Methodist and all that, the modern Protestant churches were taking over, and it was talking about like religious freedom was coming in and all that kind of thing. And then through the wall you could see how the Muslims and that were still being portrayed wrongly now. So it kind of gave you a bit of a perspective on just diversity, really, because one of the plaques said that they want everybody to be free and to be who they want to be, and yet that can never be possible because people just, you know, what is my freedom compared with your freedom, etc. So they are struggling. They're trying to be a free place, but with its problems.
yeah. So really, really interesting and very, very modern. We're sat in the gardens at the moment of the place, and it's lovely. So
It's not raining.
well worth a visit if you've got a couple of hours. It's tea time. What you having, Mr. A?
I'm having a carbonara with no meat. And a 0 alcohol, I'm changing.
And I've chosen pasta in a pesto sauce with shrimps, tomatoes, and pine nuts with spinach on the top and an orange juice.
Found the meat.
Bon appetit, Mr. A.
Halfway there.
What did you think of our Amsterdam tour yesterday, Mr. A?
Yeah, it was very good. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was weird really, because they had, fantastic museums, beautiful architecture, and then absolute squalor. You know, you could smell men's wee everywhere down one street, and there were signs saying, you know, you'll get fined if you pee in public. Bizarre.
Yeah, I'm telling you, loads and loads of signs. They say don't smoke weed on the street, so you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed, well, they tell you, advise you not to buy weed off street sellers. Well, we never saw any of them anyway.
Not that we wanted to buy any. The smell of weed is everywhere. So you've got this beautiful architecture culture, the water shining on the canals, beautiful old buildings, and you literally sat there absolutely stinking weed.
I think one of the problems is it's one of them cities, they want to be up and coming, and so they say about freedom and what have you, and yet they're so out of it off the face. We saw a load of lads whose eyes were just blared open
Gone.
like that, they just couldn't. And yet there's all that lovely stuff around, but they couldn't see it.
No.
Because we're just off the face.
So today,
yeah.
we're having a little change.
We're going
of plan.
back in again.
We're going in for part 2.
I'm going to wee on the street.
Don't you dare. So decisions today, we're going to go on a boat tour so that we can see all the historical buildings. And then we thought we'd go to the Jewish quarter because we can't see that there's going to be the stink of weed there. Oh, so when we say weed, we mean cannabis.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've got me hat on, covering me
Kippur.
head. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll tell you what the Jewish quarter's like with all of their history. We're also trying to catch a park as well and perhaps sit out. But this we're in at the moment, Woodland Walk, and this is just at the back of the caravan. The motorhome pitch. So we're taking on Delilah a massive big walk. We're not taking her in the city. She just gets overwhelmed with the crowds of people. So nice big walk with Delilah. Jump the metro. And Amsterdam, take 2.
So this is a lake. I think it's a lake. Lake Giz. I'll put it up. And this is just at the back of the campsite. And I can imagine it gets totally full in the summer. With all sorts of water things and places to go swimming. It goes round the corner up there, and so we brought Delilah out and this area here is for the summer people. Seem to allow for various bins, picnic benches, places to sit. It's a bit cold for it. Getting summarised at this time of the year. But it's a massive park. It's a park we brought Delilah out to, and she's sniffing everywhere, having a good sniff. So we're heading back to the van to put Delilah in, and then we're off back into the city to have a look at a few things that we missed. So let's quick look at the water. See you in the city.
Ian with his Kippur on reading the Torah. This is the Portuguese synagogue, and it was the biggest synagogue in Europe. It wasn't just the synagogue, they also had buildings all the way around the outside for cleansing, for teaching, for fellowship with each other. So it was a really important place of meeting. So this synagogue is still in use today. It has no electricity and it has no heating. So there are evenings where all of these candles are lit in order for people to see and to take part in the service. So if you can imagine every one of these pews filled with the men with the prayer shawls on, all the candles lit, and the chanting of the Torah, it really would be quite a spectacular sight. All of this down at the bottom is the original from the 17th century, and just the grills around the top are the newest portion that's been made. So it survived 2 world wars. This is the huppah, or the wedding canopy, where the wedding ceremony takes place. And people can get married outside of the synagogue, but they always have to get married under the huppah. And this can just be a prayer shawl that's held over their heads, but they have to get married under a canopy by Jewish tradition.
So we're here back at the railway station, and this is what the railways are like. A bit like the Underground in Manchester, in London. They're pretty well run on time. They're pretty good, and yeah, you just get a ticket. It takes you through the barrier like they do on the Underground and stuff, and then the trains. Jump on board, plenty of space, and there you go. We're looking for number 53 that's going to take us back to the campsite.
We've had a very successful day today. We've had a lovely day around Amsterdam and come back. This site, it is a bit expensive, but it does have a washing machine. However, you have to pay for the washing machine. It was €10 to wash and dry. But do you remember the song of The Sound of Music? These are a few of my favourite things. I remembered that one of mine is
When the bee stings.
wearing pyjamas that have just come out the tumble dryer. Oh, they're so snug and warm. So hope you're having a toasty lovely evening, as are we, in our warm van with electricity. The heating's on, kettle's on, that's what the noise is in the background. And have a lovely evening, everybody.